Lord, make me a channel of your peace.
The Missionaries of Charity was founded by Mother Teresa of Calcutta to satiate the infinite thirst of Jesus on the cross for love of souls. The Society achieves this purpose by living their religious vows and giving wholehearted and free service to the poor, lonely, sick, suffering, dying, and all those rejected by society, and thus bring the message of God's love and peace to the world. The lives of the Missionaries of Charity are woven around the Eucharist. Mother Teresa always said, "There is no difference between Jesus in the Eucharist and Jesus in the poor." That is why the Missionaries of Charity begin their day with Holy Mass and end their day with Eucharistic adoration.
6 years ago, I was a volunteer here in Kolkata. So when I was at school, I already was wanting so much to discover which was the will of God for me, no? And I have a missionary uncle that he's a priest, and then I grew up listening to his stories. He was a missionary for many years in Africa. I thought I wanted to be a missionary, but I wanted to have a missionary family, or that was my plan. So I just kept looking, no? But then as the time was passing, I was so afraid to think about religious life, about being a sister, no? I was like, no, I don't want to be a nun. Just with time, I started opening my heart to that option, no? Like, I was doing very well. At home, I was doing well with my family. I was having so many friends. I was dating somebody. I was so happy. I was in university. I was getting some invitations for work that I was interested in. And then just nothing was filling my heart, no? I was already involved in the groups in the church. I was going for Mass and everything, and then just something was not full in my heart. There was like an emptiness in my heart that I didn't know why it was there. And then, so I decided, I asked to take 1 year off from university. And I told everyone that I wanted just to try what volunteering was, but in reality I wanted to so desperately know what God wanted from me. So I took half of the year in my country doing volunteering in one group home that is like an orphanage kind of thing. And then the other half of the year I came to the sisters in Kolkata 6 years ago, and just the Lord arranged everything for me. I was not having enough money. It was the first time that I came out from Mexico. I had no idea. My English was not so good. I'm still working on it. but then he arranged everything for me, and for me it was so clear that he wanted me to be here.
That's when one of my friends actually called me and told me that she was going to go to Calcutta to volunteer with the Missionaries of Charity. And when I spoke to my director, he said that it would be a great idea. However, I won't lie to you, I was very scared. And that's when I started to pray. And I prayed for a sign, and luckily I received it. And that's when I knew that I had to come here. Since the moment that I purchased my flight ticket to the day that I actually landed here, I was very, very nervous. And I don't think I stopped being nervous until I walked through the door of this house, of Mother's house. I remember that I had just landed at 5 a.m. from a flight all the way from Spain, and I came to Mass at 6 a.m. And the moment that I walked through the chapel, it was magical. Watching all the sisters pray, and just the way that they looked at Jesus was out of this world. I think I had never seen someone look at Jesus the way that I saw the sisters look at him. And that's the moment that I knew that I had made the right choice to come here. And I don't know, I remember walking out of the church, the Mass, and calling my mother. And I told her that there was something here, and that this place was very magical. And I remember that I told her, look, no matter what you do, where you are, or what your passion is, you have to come here and you have to see this place. Because there's no other place like this on earth. And if you really want to feel God, you have to come here.
Jesus is the hungry to be fed. He's the thirsty to be satiated. Jesus is the next to be clothed.
And now it's been over 3 weeks since I've been here, and I can only tell you that I haven't been happier in my life. I think it's more than happiness, it's a inner peace that you get of just seeing how much God can do for you, and how much you get when you only put a little bit of effort into your relationship with God. I can only say that I'm very lucky to be here, and every day I just wake up and just wanting to do more and more. And don't get me wrong, a year ago, I wasn't a big fan of going to church on Sundays or anything like that. But now, every day I wake up at 5 a.m. ready to go to church at 6 a.m. And actually yesterday I was talking with my parents, and I was telling them this. And my parents were looking at me as if I had grown two heads. They thought that I had gone crazy and I needed to go back to Spain. However, I told them that they were wrong. I was very happy here, and I was as happy as I could ever be. And now I'm just trying to navigate my feelings and my connection with God. But I highly recommend anyone to come here and see this place, because it truly is magical.
So I came and I stayed 5 months from January to June in 2017. And I was working in Shantidan, Tangra, in the home for the girls. And I was just so struck by thinking the Lord called me to share His love with them. I am so broken and so sinful, and yet He wants me to share His love with them. And I kept on thinking that so much. Many things impressed me, no? I mean, Kolkata is like another world, truly another world. But even though many things of the apostolate and the work of the sisters impressed me so much, there was something in particular that was prayer. And I used to come every day, for Holy Mass and for Holy Hour. And I remember thinking, how is it possible that the sisters are so peaceful, so concentrated looking at Jesus, and all this noise and the heat is terrible, and we are with the fans and the sisters are all sweating. And I remember looking at one sister, how she was looking at Jesus. And in those 6 years, I just could not forget that gaze, no? And I didn't know what it meant, no? But with the years, praying about it, I realized, no, the way that she was looking at Jesus, it was like she belongs to him and he belongs to her. And when I saw that, I just thought, I want that so much. I want that one for me. And then I even approached the sister and I told her, sister, I hope one day I will look at Jesus as you look at him. Yeah, I was just so impressed by that, no? Like, all those years I was looking for something and I didn't know what it was. And when I saw that sister praying, I saw what it was.
It was always the poor who attracted me initially, but my love for Jesus grew day by day as the time passed. And I discovered the truth that it is the same Jesus who is in the Eucharist and who is in the poor. It is not two different Jesus. We believe in the Eucharist on the authority of the Word of God. What Jesus says in the scriptures. It is He who said, He took the bread and He said, this is my body. He took the chalice and He said, this is my blood. And it is on the authority of the scripture that we read in Matthew 25, Jesus says, I was hungry and you fed me. I was thirsty and you gave me to drink. I was lonely, I was naked and you did it to me.
Be taken in. Jesus, He is the seat, so be
I always felt in my heart, if I want to be a nun and I want to remain a nun, I would be joyful and loving. There are different moments in your life. There are days of honeymoon, but there are also, even in your work, you walk through also dark areas of your life. But I feel it's like a tunnel that you come out more deepened in your spiritual journey. And today, very soon that will be 50 years, when I really look back, I really feel the deep joy of knowing Jesus. Very recently, I was experiencing that Lord's, that tender love. You know, if He has taken me, that He is also with me.
Mother Teresa, I lived with her very closely. I lived with her like about 5 years. During her last years on earthly life, What I experience from Mother is her motherliness. She was very, very loving. She was like a mother to us. And she was very simple. I think when I think of Mother, her greatness was in her capacity to remain small and simple. Even though she was a big person in the eyes of the world, she was a celebrity, and yet she was able to become so small, live ordinary life. She ate with us. She sat at the same table. She cared for us. She listened to us. She would even come and check whether we are covered with the blankets during winter. She was very, very tenderly, and she had a good sense of humor.
Mother, I felt, though she is very quiet, loving, but when it is necessary, she corrects you in a very, because I remember when I first feeding the poor, I was very scared of TB, because in the world you are so I was standing and feeding like this. She came from the back quietly, moved me and made me sit on the same bed. Like this, her ways were. Sit next to him and feed, like that. And again, like this, anytime small mistakes I would make with the patient, she would very gently but firmly correct, like that. And I felt, and she was but very gentle person. And my experience was that she was something more than just a nun, very supernatural her ways were, and I could feel she's different, and not only a saint but a great saint she was.